Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday morning. You're watching the Kaiser Report. Welcome back. I'm John. I'm coming to you today with some news that's going on through the nation and around the world. So, one of the big warnings that came out overnight that you need to be aware of if you're an iPhone user is there is a new scam out now that you need to be aware of. And they're texting you, asking you to sign into your Apple iCloud account, and they're stealing your iCloud identity. And they'll do damage beyond what you can control if you let this happen. So if you get any texts at all, saying that they're from Apple and that your iCloud is in trouble, disregard it, erase it, report it, and stay safe out there. Of course, the rest of the news today, as expected, is all about Joe Biden refusing to step down when he's being called on to do so by several of the Democratic Party members that are sitting in Congress today, and so on. But he is refusing flat out to do that, and we'll see what happens. But it's not good for him since this debate. It's not.
Oh, snap.
Not good that he has declined so rapidly and stumbles around, and it also is not good for this country to know that he has a failing problem mentally that should prevent him from holding the presidential office, but he doesn't see it that way, and neither does his family. And Jill just does not want to give up her place in the sun, and that's not going to happen.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor!
And of course, he's being encouraged by Hunter to stay in because Hunter's afraid of facing 20-some years in jail for some of the crimes that we now have been brought to light to the rest of us, kind of what we knew all along. The fact that they're using that Donald Trump is a liar as a campaign push is not very good, based on the fact that Joe's multiple lies and through the years and made up stories about what he has accomplished and traveled, 17,000 miles with Xi Jinping, and
The shifting of memory patterns is basic to psychotherapy.
and so on and so on. So he needs to be careful about throwing the liar around too much, and Jill needs to pay attention to that because she understands and knows what he has lied about in the past and continues to tell the same stories that have been proven not true. So there you go. That's the Joe Biden story in a nutshell. And let's hope we don't have to talk too much more about this. But this coming week should be very, very interesting when it comes to what's going on inside the Democratic Party with the shift of power being what it is. And we also need to ask ourselves, while this man is not functioning properly, why or who is running this government? And that is something that we need to start to pay attention to, because it's not a good situation when we don't know who the leaders of our country are and who are making the decisions inside our government right now. And trust me, the rest of the world is looking upon exactly what we're talking about here and making decisions on their own of what they may or may not do in light of what's going on here. So we need to beware of what's taking place with election interference, and also what's going on with the illegals that they're being passed flyers as they come through the border saying to vote for Joe Biden.
What the hell?
This is not a made-up story, and this is not a cheap fake. This is the actual truth of what's going on at the border today. It's not good. We need voter ID verification in this country, and most of us that vote on a regular basis, including myself, have been registered, and we need to show ID when we go to vote. So why is it impossible for some to be able to show ID if they want to vote? I mean, I carry a passport, I carry a driver's license, but now, see, a lot of these illegals have been issued driver's licenses and work permits that they'll use as ID. So there has to be some steps taken to prevent illegal voting. So what is going to happen excuse me, in November? We don't know. But we know we need to be careful going into this election cycle, that it is watched, and we need to get out and vote, and we need to listen and ask the questions necessary to make an informed vote decision. As I tell you all along, ask for their solutions to the problems that bother you or that you are concerned about, and make sure they give you an answer and a solution of how they will fix the problem. So vote. The Democrats will vote, and they'll vote often, and the illegals will probably filter through to get some votes in there. Will he get 81 million votes? I was highly doubtful that he did that the last time. We don't know. The mail-in ballots are not being handled well by most of these states. So it should fall on the states to make sure they know who's voting in their primaries and major elections. And why some states refuse to do it, and the excuses they use to get away from doing it, are mind-boggling. So the heat wave through the country has brought a lot of problems with regard to the electric car situation. They don't perform well in these high heats. They don't perform well in freezing cold weather either. And the car companies now are making inroads into trying to get rid of inventory that they're sitting on. There is a dealer, excuse me, in Colorado that is offering a $14 a month payment on a lease of their electric vehicles. I believe they're Nissan Leafs that they can't move off their lots. And they'll do this for 2 years, and you have some upfront fees to pay. It's like a registration fee for the government for $600 and some odd, and then you have to have a down payment of $600 and some odd, and then you drive this car for $14 a month for 2 years, but you're limited on mileage that you can go. I think it's 20,000 miles in 2 years, and that's their answer to alleviating themselves of a lot of inventory that they're sitting on. But it's in dire straits with the electric car sales in this country right now, especially GM. They've got a massive lawsuit that they're facing on lying about mileage that you can get out of some of their cars, and so on and so on. And they're facing that right now. Ford's in no better shape if you look at our domestic manufacturing due to the fact that their F-150 electric vehicle has a ton of problems. Why would you buy an electric F-150 and try to pull a trailer with it is beyond my understanding. Unless you're only going 5 miles down the road, you're going to lose a lot of power in that and pulling power. So we'll see. But the infrastructure is not there to support these electric vehicles in the fashion that they want it to be. If you look at our Department of Transportation run by Mr. Buttigieg, it's kind of a joke. They spent $7 to $8 billion for infrastructure, and they ended up with 6 or 7 stations out of it. So that's another Solyndra deal where we just poured money into a Green New Deal and watched them go bankrupt with it. So we're a fair amount of distance away from actually having a workable green system in this country that will support that kind of vehicles and solar power. It's not there yet. It's coming. So's AI and several other things that they have in the wind, but we're not seeing it yet. And of course, our infrastructure is not prepared for some of the things that they want to push ahead in the name of greening our country. So today starts the NATO meeting that is being hosted in Washington by Joe Biden. This ought to be a gaffe central today if he has anything to do with it, and it goes unscripted. He'll be in trouble once more, but we'll see how it works out. But all of these world leaders that are coming in, these NATO leaders, are already cognizant of the fact that they all have watched the debate and they all understand what's going on inside our government right now with the wishes for Joe to step down. They see the weakness of this country. They don't want Donald Trump back in office for one simple reason. They don't want to pay their fair share around the world for protection. They want to lean on us for it, and unfortunately, because of the expenditures that this Congress has just freely spent money like drunken sailors in this administration, especially, not to say that the other administrations before them didn't do the same thing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they just went above and beyond in what they're doing. The fact that they opened the border wide and filled this country with a lot of who we don't know who they are in most cases, or what they're capable of, is a travesty in itself. But the spending process, especially on the Ukraine war, is horrendous. And someone needs to be appointed to, forget the committees, they need to be appointed to do a job to get this government into a balanced budget and stop spending money, especially into countries that really do not like us. And in some cases, openly tell you they hate America. This is what has to stop, and it has to be brought into control. We cannot be taxed through the roof to pay other countries' mistakes, wars, and famines brought on by themselves. And the fact that they're pushing NATO into Putin's face is a direct result of what is taking place in the Ukraine today. There were promises made after World War II to Russia that we would not go further east with NATO. That promise has been broken time after time, administration after administration, in the sake of NATO. Just grab hold of your shorts, because they're going to try and push NATO into the Ukraine, which will spark World War III. There is no doubt about this. Everybody with a brain and understanding understands this. But yet, this administration is hell-bent on seeing this happen. And just another reason not to put Biden back in office. Well, that said, we have a short one today. There's not a whole lot more to bring you. I gave you the warning on the iPhone attempts, so be ever cognizant of that. And please stay safe when you're out and about. It's a dangerous world anymore. We have these illegal committing crimes and murders and rapes and things of that nature that are going on around in certain cities right now. So be ever alert about where you are at all times and who is around you. And don't fall for the things put on your windshield to make you get back out of your car to get it off. That's a setup. Watch people in parking lots in Walmarts and Kmarts and Costco's and places of that nature where people can mill around and you don't know what their intents are. So keep your wits about you at all times. And with that, we love you here at the Kaiser Report. And if you have a minute, please take a time to subscribe to this channel. We need your subscriptions here to stay viable and bring you certain things, especially the tours around the small Appalachian towns that we do in the summer months, and again sometimes in the winter. So the more subscribers we get, the more content that we can develop and bring to you. The Kaiser Report here is a one-man show, and it's sometimes hard to edit, and we're trying new microphones and we're trying to edit differently, and all of your feedback and comments help. So if you have something you want to say, there's a comment section below, and there's also you'll see our email pop up here, and we welcome your emails at any time. And of course your comments are always taken well. Even the people that are not so nice that make comments, God bless you all. I know it's a frustrating time in this country today to have peace in your own mind with all the turmoil and chaos that ensues always on the news and in your face in most of the larger cities. And people tend to get a little bent out of shape and say nasty things, and that's okay, because you have a voice and your voice should be heard. So we welcome your comments, good or bad, and always give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't like something. So with that, we're going to let you go today. God bless you all. Thank you so much for tuning into the Kaiser Report, and we'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully my voice will be a little bit better. I'm getting over a cold, and that's not a Biden excuse. I've had this for a week or so now, but it's clearing up, and I feel good. I hope you do too, and don't remember always. We love you here. We pray for you, and we ask for your prayers for us and this nation to survive. So with that, I'm going to say bye-bye now. God bless.